Alright folks, today we're going to revisit the very cool PRS Dragon, though this particular one is not one that you'll have seen before. Let's find out why. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Jack here from Peach Guitars. Welcome to another video. Today is time to look at an instrument that literally none of us have seen before. You may remember sometime last year, I think it was sort of mid-lockdown and everything got a little bit hazy. We took a look and we took delivery of this 9th version of PRS's Dragon guitar. For those who don't know, the history of PRS is littered with a few of these wonderful, stunning Dragon guitars that Paul Reed Smith really feels epitomizes his kind of sonic ideals and design ideals in a guitar. This is him throwing everything that he can at making the ultimate premium guitar build based around this Dragon theme. Started out with the inception of the company back in '85, and last year, to mark their 35th anniversary, this guitar, the 9th generation of the Dragon, came about. Very limited numbers on this instrument. They all sold very, very quickly, and just as quickly as they came to us, we never saw them again. They disappeared. However, sometime later, this guitar arrived. Looks exactly the same, plays pretty much the same, sounds the same, has the same stunning artwork to it, but no serial number. This guitar is the Dragon 2020 prototype, and we were very lucky to get our hands on it and spend some time with it today. Okay, so what makes this guitar different to the Dragon that you would have seen in our previous video? To be honest with you, not very much, apart from the fact, of course, that this is a prototype guitar, and you can tell that this is very much a final prototype, because it differs basically not at all from what became the production line guitar. When I say production line, it was of course very limited still, but the one that everyone could get their hands on. So really what this is just a very important little marker in PRS's history. They were about to launch this 9th generation of the Dragon, and what Paul Reed Smith himself likes to do is sign off these guitars personally and get them out into the world. So regardless of the fact that this was not meant for production, he still wanted a player out there, or at least an enthusiastic collector, to get their hands on it and use it as the great instrument that it is intended to be. So I just think it's cool that not only did we get to see this guitar again, but also we got the opportunity to pit it against what you could perhaps consider to be the ultimate PRS prototype, which is this 1985 Red Custom 24. You may have seen this guitar featured on the channel a couple of times before. Whenever it does get featured, a lot of people ask about it and want to know more. So I thought it would be cool just to compare it to this, because even though this is the prototype, it's got that written on it, in many ways that guitar actually feels way more prototypical in a lot of senses, because that is the genesis of the company. You can see where things moved on leaps and bounds over the 35 years, culminating in guitar designs like this. So just a very quick recap on the specs of this guitar before you hear the tones. It's basically a McCarty platform, so it's got the thicker mahogany wood body than, say, a Paul's guitar or a Custom. It's a little bit thicker. Really comfortable neck, quite a chunky neck profile. I believe it's the patent vintage profile, so it's a little bit thicker than that of the Custom 24. And if you are a Custom 24 player and you know how that neck feels, this is just a hair thicker and rounder at the back. Obviously, the star of the show is the fingerboard. I need to say very little about that. A lot of this was covered in our previous overview of the Dragon. So if you want to find out more information about what makes this guitar so cool, go and check that video out. It'll be linked in the description below if you haven't seen it before. And the most standout change on this particular generation of the Dragon, because they all encompass slightly different spec changes with each try, this one had the fairly new at the time TCI tuned Paul's guitar pickups. So these narrow field humbucking pickups. They sound fantastic. They've got loads of clarity, loads of nice snap, and even with a fair bit of overdrive, as you're going to hear in today's clip, they clean up really well on the volume, and they have a lot of articulation to them, especially when you pull up the tone control and have the coil tap active. Other than that, it's just a really nice wraparound tailpiece, really comfortable, 3-way position switch, volume and tone. Dead simple PRS formula that works very well. So without further ado, let's delve into some of the tones that this prototype Dragon guitar can produce. Okay, now as this guitar is here, it would of course be remiss of me to not talk about it. Even though this video is about that very cool Dragon prototype, this guitar is equally as important in PRS's history, though it's not the first. It is from the first year of Custom 24 production, and this was really the guitar that cemented them as a very popular, very important guitar builder over the course of the next 36 years by this point that this video is being filmed. So it's not every day that you get a hands-on experience with a guitar like this, so I thought I'll just try and kind of put into words some of my thoughts about playing this thing. To be honest with you, it's very strange. If you've played any modern PRS guitars before, you'll know that they've really refined their processes, and every guitar feels sleek, every guitar feels really smooth. The pickups are really well balanced, and they have a lot of sort of character to them. This has all those things, but it's like the flip side of the same coin. So the neck, for example, it still has that PRS thinness and that nice sleek feel, but it feels like a handmade guitar. I don't know what the production sort of standards were by this point in PRS's history, how many people were building guitars at the time, but this feels a little bit more like that artisan kind of approach, like it's been hand finished this morning and just dropped off to the client for their approval. It's that kind of feeling to it. And you kind of get that when you look at the headstock as well, with the much smaller PRS logo on the front, the much larger on the top Charlotte locking tuners, and on the back, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but hand signed on the back as well to David. Whoever David is, if you know, and if that's you, let us know in the comments. We'd like to know who David is. But anyway, this guitar ended up with us. It's got a very interesting rotary 5-way switch here on what would be a tone control. A mini toggle here, I have no idea what it does. It's one of those mysterious guitars that you just have to play it, and because you don't really know what's going on with it so much, your brain detaches the analytical side and you just enjoy playing it for what it is. And I think that that's something that maybe gets lost a little bit with modern instruments. We're also obsessed with specs and how everything works, and the number of combinations of tones you can get out of your guitar and everything that it can do on paper. You actually forget sometimes to put these things into practice and just play. I don't know what any of these settings do. I don't know what this switch does. All I know is that the vibrato works very well, the neck feels great, the pickups sound really good, and it feels alive, this guitar. So it's a totally different beast to where they are 35 years on, but it really shows the merit of PRS as a guitar builder, even back in '85. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this PRS themed treat today. It's quite unusual that we get the opportunities to do this kind of thing, but it's thanks to you being such great customers that we get to enjoy such a fantastic relationship with brands like PRS, and we get our hands on these prototype instruments and stuff that a lot of people just never really get the chance to see, and it's our great pleasure to be able to show you in video form. So I'd very much like to know your thoughts, not only on this awesome Dragon prototype guitar, but also the 85 Custom 24, which I think really stands up to it as an instrument. It's totally different, and I really hope that that's come across. PRSs are not to be treated with the same sort of blanket description that everyone sounds the same, and everyone feels the same, and everyone is designed in the same way. Hopefully these two guitars are the best examples of the huge ocean of difference between the different guitar design ideals of the same man. And remember, the Dragon was kind of conceived around the same time as that guitar, and they both stood the test of time very well. Let me know down there as well which one of these two you would prefer to have for yourself. Now, in answering that question, I think it's only fair to point out that this guitar is available, and you better be quick. If you head to the website by clicking the link in the description below, you can be within a chance of grabbing this one-of-a-kind, final edition prototype Dragon PRS Custom Shop guitar for yourself. All the info and the specs and whatnot are on the website. Like I said, if you want more info about the actual Dragon platform that this guitar was the prototype for, there's another video on our channel that details all the specs and the design ideals that went into this guitar. But today, we just wanted to give you an overview of two of the coolest guitars that we've ever had in the studio. So thank you very much, as always, for watching. If you've enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like down below, comment down below in the comment section with your thoughts, and if you're new here, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and you'll be notified whenever we post new content in the future. So take good care, folks. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.